Supergirl was supposed to be one of the biggest pillars of James Gunn's new DC universe. But just weeks after its theatrical disappointment, the movie is reportedly facing another major problem. And this time, it isn't happening at the box office. As questions grow over the film's digital performance, many fans are now wondering whether Warner Bros. Is preparing to move Supergirl to HBO Max much sooner than expected. At the same time, Milly Alcock has broken her silence with a series of comments that are already dividing fans across social media, reigniting debates about the movie, the future of the DCU, and where the franchise goes from here. Is streaming really the movie's last chance to change the narrative, or has the damage already been done? Let's break down everything that's happening. As the conversation surrounding Supergirl continues, attention is no longer focused only on its theatrical performance. The discussion has now shifted toward another important question. Can the movie recover through digital sales and streaming? For many observers, the early signs don't appear encouraging. Following its disappointing run in theaters, the film has now entered the digital market, where expectations were that it would find a second wave of success. However, according to the ongoing discussion surrounding the release, those expectations may not be materializing. If the digital performance continues to fall short, many believe Warner Bros. Could decide to move the movie onto HBO Max much sooner than originally planned. Instead of waiting until October, some are now predicting a streaming release by late August or early September in an effort to reach a wider audience more quickly. At the same time, several of the biggest names connected to the project have continued defending the film in interviews and public appearances. Over the past few weeks, we've seen James Gunn, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav, screenwriter Anna Nogueira, and lead actress Millie Alcock all respond to the growing criticism surrounding the movie. Each of them has offered different explanations for why the film has struggled, but despite those efforts, public debate around Supergirl hasn't slowed down. One of the biggest questions now is whether streaming can realistically change the movie's trajectory. Some believe HBO Max could provide the film with a much larger audience, while others argue that streaming alone isn't likely to reverse the overall perception that has already formed since release. James Gunn himself has previously spoken about the importance of the film's performance beyond theaters, suggesting that digital platforms and streaming services will ultimately play a major role in determining its long-term success. Whether that prediction proves correct remains to be seen. But while the future of Supergirl continues to dominate headlines, another controversy has quickly taken center stage. This time, the spotlight has shifted directly onto Milly Alcock. The actress who plays Kara Zor-El has recently made a series of public comments defending the movie, and those remarks have generated a completely new wave of discussion across social media. Supporters believe she's standing up for the film during an incredibly difficult period. Critics, however, argue that her latest comments have only added more fuel to an already heated debate. And according to many online reactions, this may have become one of the most talked about moments since the movie's digital release. But what exactly did Milly Alcock say? And why has it generated so much attention? That's where the story takes another turn. Milly Alcock recently addressed the criticism surrounding Supergirl, arguing that the conversation around the movie has become far more political than it should be. According to her, films led by female characters, or starring people from underrepresented backgrounds, often face a level of scrutiny that goes well beyond ordinary criticism. She suggested that Supergirl became caught in that environment, where online debates quickly escalated into organized boycott campaigns, negative social media trends, and accusations of review bombing. Alcock described the situation as frustrating, saying it was difficult to watch the movie become the center of such an intense cultural debate. In her view, the discussion stopped being about the film itself and instead turned into a much larger argument playing out across social media. She also reflected on her own experience after stepping into one of DC's biggest roles. Taking on Kara Zor-El, she explained, brought an entirely new level of public attention, and with that came constant criticism from every direction. Alcock acknowledged that she has dealt with negative comments throughout her career, but said the reaction to Supergirl felt different because of the size of the franchise and the amount of attention surrounding every headline connected to the movie. Another topic she touched on involved the way some fans have discussed Supergirl's identity throughout the promotional campaign. Alcock suggested that the character shouldn't be confined to a single interpretation, adding that audiences are free to see Kara Zor-El in different ways. She praised James Gunn and screenwriter Anna Nogueira for leaving parts of the character open to interpretation, saying that modern audiences often connect with characters whose personal journeys aren't defined by simple labels. She also mentioned that future DC projects could continue exploring different aspects of Kara's personality, leaving the door open for additional character development as the new DC universe expands. Those remarks immediately sparked another round of online debate. Some fans supported the idea of allowing the character to evolve naturally over multiple films. Others argued that discussions about a character's personal identity shouldn't become the central focus of the marketing campaign. believing audiences are more interested in compelling storytelling, memorable action, and strong character development. And that's really where the conversation has become divided. Many critics insist that the biggest issue surrounding Supergirl has never been about politics or identity. Instead, they point to the screenplay itself. From the dialogue and pacing to the overall story structure and world building, critics argue that the movie simply failed to deliver the level of quality audiences expected from a major DC release. That's why, according to many commentators, the negative reaction began long before these recent interviews. Questions surrounding the script had already been circulating well before the film reached theaters. James Gunn has previously confirmed that he reviewed the screenplay multiple times before giving it the green light, making that decision another major topic of discussion among fans. For critics, that approval process has become part of the larger conversation surrounding the future direction of DC Studios. But the controversy didn't stop there, because during her latest comments, Millie Alcock also hinted at what's coming next for Kara Zor-El inside the expanding DC universe. And those remarks may have created an entirely new debate among DC fans. The discussion became even more interesting when Millie Alcock shifted the conversation toward the future of the DC universe. During her remarks, she suggested that audiences haven't seen the full scope of Kara Zor-El's journey yet. According to Alcock, much of the character's development is still ahead, with future DC projects expected to expand on her story in a much bigger way. She also indicated that she has already filmed material connected to Man of Tomorrow, explaining that Kara will continue playing an important role as the DC universe moves forward. Those comments immediately caught the attention of fans online. A part of the reaction centered around earlier reports and interviews suggesting that Supergirl could be portrayed as one of the most powerful heroes in the franchise, with some fans interpreting those statements as placing her above Superman in certain areas. Whether that's exactly how the upcoming film will present, the character remains to be seen, but the comments were enough to ignite another wave of debate across social media. Some fans welcomed the idea of expanding Kara's role within the DCU. Others questioned whether shifting too much focus away from Superman in a film titled Man of Tomorrow would be the right creative decision. Adding to that discussion were ongoing reports that the upcoming movie could feature significantly more cameo appearances than previous DC releases. If those reports prove accurate, it would continue James Gunn's approach of building a heavily interconnected cinematic universe with multiple heroes appearing across different projects. Supporters see that as an exciting way to strengthen the DCU. Critics, however, argue that introducing too many characters into a single film risks taking attention away from the main story. Toward the end of her comments, Alcock emphasized that building a shared universe isn't always a straight path. She suggested that not every project will become an immediate success, and that the broader goal is to continue expanding the DC universe while exploring different stories and characters over time. That philosophy closely mirrors comments previously made by both James Gunn and Peter Safran, who have repeatedly said they're focused on the long-term future of the franchise rather than judging the entire DCU based on the performance of a single movie. Even so, many observers believe financial results still matter. Large-budget superhero films require significant investments, and when a project struggles commercially, questions naturally arise about future budgets, creative direction, and audience confidence. That's why Supergirl's performance continues to receive so much attention. It's no longer just about one movie. For many fans, it's become a larger conversation about the future of DC Studios, James Gunn's leadership, and whether the studio's long-term strategy will ultimately succeed. With the movie already available digitally and a streaming release expected in the near future, all eyes will now be on whether HBO Max gives Supergirl the second chance Warner Brothers has been hoping for. If streaming numbers show a strong response, the conversation could shift once again. If they don't, the debate surrounding the movie is likely to continue for quite some time. So now it's your turn. Do you think Supergirl still has a chance to find a bigger audience through streaming, or do you believe its overall reception has already been decided? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the Woke Watch, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest Hollywood news, DC updates, and box office coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.